Happy holiday weekend, everybody. Tom Wassell here along with Brock Huard, the one guy I really wanted to talk to about this topic here on 710 ESPN Seattle. Now, for Jake Browning, Gardner Minshew, I'm uncertain as to whether or not these guys even understand the gravity of the situation they're in right now. Jake Browning's been around a little while longer. He's been through a few of these things now. Maybe the Apple Cup is old hat to him. I don't know. But somebody who has some perspective, 20 years worth of perspective on this, these two teams being as good as they are right now. I mean, Washington's had a down season, but they're still a pretty darn good team. First I want you to put yourself in Gardner Minshew's shoes. Okay? He came basically out of nowhere. He's had this unbelievable season. Washington State is just on cloud nine right now. Has he already accomplished all that he needs to, or where does the Apple Cup take him?
Yeah, I like the way you frame a lot of that. And as you were talking, I was thinking about 1997 because that's where my mind goes to a degree with this matchup. In 1997, the Cougs were playing for the Rose Bowl, their first Rose Bowl in 65 years. And they had this quarterback, this guy named Ryan Leaf. And while there's mustaches today, do you know what it was in 1997?
Goatees?
No, it wasn't quite goatees. It was the Canadian flag. The cheerleaders would run out with the Canadian flag. There were little Canadian flags around because of the leaf, because of the maple leaf, that it was all about the leaf. It was Ryan Leaf. So it wasn't the Gardner Minshew mustache. It was the Ryan Leaf, literally, maple leaf on the Canadian flag. And likewise, that became just a symbol of this, man, we have got this. It is carefree. It is footloose. And it is the word, and I mentioned this on the broadcast last week with Minshew versus Arizona. He's just unconscious. And I remember Ryan Leaf running on the field in that game in 97. It was a home game for us. And I'm out in warm-ups. And as you know, Tom, I'm a very serious guy.
Of course.
So I take my routine. I'm very serious. I'm dialed in. We've had an up-and-down year. I've been injured. It was a year of a lot of expectations for us. We were 9-2 the previous year. We were preseason top 5. We were 3-0. We lose to Nebraska. We lose a couple other games. I miss a few. Rashawn missed a few. We were kind of beat up and injured. Yet we could kind of salvage our season if we beat these suckers, right? We're like 7-3. We can beat these guys, knock them out of the Rose Bowl. And I'm on the field warming up, and Ryan Leaf runs by me, and Scott Linehan, who's the Cowboys' OC now, was my OC, and Leaf runs by, and Linehan turns to me. He's like, he's got no care in the world. He is just unconscious. He's not even probably feeling anything right now.
Were you nervous?
I was not at all nervous.
Okay.
I was amped up. I wanted to beat that guy worse than anybody in my life in that moment.
But you were focused, whereas he was
yes.
just like,
he was just like, life of the party. We're good. We're going to win.
Yeah.
He had a mindset like, this is over. We're going to the Rose Bowl in 3.5 hours. He had a mindset like Tom Brady. Damon will tell this story much better than I. I was on a fishing boat with Damon this summer, and Tom Nelson, Captain Tom of the Outdoor Line, turned to Damon and said, hey, give me your best Brady story. And Damon's like, okay. All right, before the Super Bowl in 2001. We're sitting in the locker room, and Tom turns to me and says, can you imagine what it's going to be like? Do you know what this locker room is going to be like in 3.5 hours when we're world champs? Can't you just feel it? And Damon's like, no. Right on top. Yeah, buddy, yeah. And like 10 minutes later, seriously, Tom turns to him again. He's like, dude, we're going to be champs. Isn't this amazing? Like, can't you picture this locker room, bro? We are in 3.5 hours. We're going to be freaking world champs.
Is that the youthful ignorance of a young man, or is that just what you need? Because you're talking about Brady at the pro level, but early in his career, obviously, he's essentially still a college-age kid.
Yes. That's what Gardner Minshew has.
Yes.
That's when I'm over there last weekend for the Arizona game, watching him the day before with his shirt off in 26-degree weather, a walkthrough, signaling to everybody. Like, he even said it at one point. He's slinging. He's like, man, it's coming out good today. Like, I'm just slinging it, you know?
See, the advantage that he has psychologically is that he's still at this point in his college career where he hasn't come down from where Jake Browning has, just as far as fan media perception.
Expectation.
Right? That whole thing. I haven't talked to Jake Browning and asked him in an honest moment, hey, man, are you bogged down by all this stuff? But it kind of feels like he is, only because he's not having the exact same success. So it feels like he's had a lot more to overcome. But at the same time,
He's the winningest quarterback in the history of this conference. At the same time, he has an opportunity to do something that will never be done.
Right.
Mark my words. It will never be done that somebody beats Wazoo 4 times. I don't think it will happen. I really don't. It's taken such a remarkable opportunity for Browning to start as a true freshman and to get that opportunity and then to be good but not great and leave for the NFL and to be around for all 4 of these suckers. He has a chance to do it. You know, anybody wins 3, it's like, wow, how did you do? No, he has a chance to win 4 and is the winningest quarterback, has a chance to win 2 Pac-12 titles, has a chance to go to the national semifinal, the Fiesta Bowl, the Rose Bowl. He has all of that still ahead of him, and that has got to be a lot of his mindset coming into this Friday night. Good, that guy's great. I did that in 2016. God bless you.
But will people?
I was on that run in 2016, but I've been here then, and I am here now, and I've got this experience in my pocket, Gardner, and I've got to use that to my advantage over these 3.5 hours.
If he loses this game, though, this is what Bob Stelton and I were talking about. The perception of him is already, it's a little murky. It's good, but it's a little murky. And depending on where this program goes, where the Huskies go after this, that could end up shaping a lot of the thoughts about Jake Browning, about the Jake Browning era, maybe Chris Peterson, but if he wins this game, he can at least cap it off on a really high note.
Oh, there's no question.
I mean, think of the Huskies in the underdog position after what's gone on in the Apple Cup for about the last 10 years or so. That'd be pretty huge.
Yeah, there is no question about it. So I can't wait to watch so many facets of this game, Tom. I really can't, because it does in some ways bring me back to 1997, where the Huskies, well, unlike us, we couldn't have won that year. Even if we won that game, UCLA would have then gone to the Rose Bowl. As they were all a game ahead of us. But Washington still has that ahead of them. But it does. It feels like in 97 for us, there was just all of this weight of expectations. We were supposed to be the national title contender. We were supposed to be the team, you know, after sanctions to get back over the top. We were ranked in the top 5. We were all of this. And then it just kind of cracked like it did for the Huskies this year. And on the other side of the state, Ryan Leaf and these guys were having a ball. They were having the absolute blast. They were having so much fun just flinging it everywhere, all the way to the Heisman Trophy nearly for Ryan as he got back there. And it's the same thing for Gardner. It's the exact same thing as he sits here. If he wins this game, that dude's going to be in New York City. That guy's going to be from a walk-on at Troy to Northwest Mississippi Junior College to East Carolina to Pullman, Washington to New York City for the Heisman. That's the opportunity he has in front of him. And which of them plays that way? Can he stay in character, and can they be just as carefree and footloose? Or will Jake Browning just have that steely resolve to say, you know what, forget you, man. I've been there, and I've accomplished so much more, and we are more physical, and we've won this game 3 times, and we have this experience, and when push comes to shove, that's going to be the difference Friday night.
If I'm Mike Leach, I don't think I say anything to Gardner Minshew. I just let him go.
He doesn't.
But if I'm Chris Peterson, I may pull Browning aside and be like, look, buddy, you've done some great things here. You know, we've had some good times. We've had some bad times. Here's where I want you to be mentally.
If I'm Chris Peterson, I pull Jake Browning aside and I say, this, my friend, is your game.
Yeah.
I screwed up.
Build him up.
I screwed up in Berkeley. I benched you. We threw a pick 6. It was a disaster. Hey, Jake, you're the winningest quarterback in the history of this conference. I don't have to say nothing to you. I know what you're going to do, but I want you to know one thing. After I messed that up, a month ago down at Cal, I ain't messing up again. This is your ball. You go play. You go win this game. You go get us to the Pac-12 title game again, and you make sure your story, the very last chapter of it, is written in a way that not many people thought it could be a month ago.
Do you think that for Chris Peterson, he, in a way, coming from the whole Boise State thing where he won big a lot, but as an underdog a lot of the time, do you think he's almost more comfortable in this role? He likes this a lot more.
There's no question. He's brought everybody in this week.
Yeah.
There's old dogs that I know that have come in there to speak to this team. He loves that underdog role. So does Jake. So does Jake Browning. Is a guy that's a 6'0", 200 and nothing, arm for nothing. Go ahead and count me out. Yeah, I think they all like coming from that perspective. And a secondary, by the way, that's not been tested all year, that's going to get their chance to be tested because, remember, they were the talk of the town coming into this season. Tom, I am so stinking excited for this game. There are so many unbelievable matchups. And if that 10 minutes didn't turn you into the biggest college football fan of your life, I don't know whatever will, buddy.
Maybe I can come over to your house and watch the game. What do you think?
No, I'll be back in Boston.
Are you going to be in Boston?
Yeah, I'll be in Boston.
You're going to watch this game on the East Coast? Isn't that sacrilegious or something?
It's going to be 8:30 at night. I'm going to be pacing the Boston hotel room. Win or lose, I'm probably up all hours of the game to get to our kickoff the following morning.
We're talking Apple Cup all day long today here on 710 ESPN Seattle. Stick around.